What's going on, everybody? I want to thank you if you're watching this. Could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. So, I wanted to celebrate the release of Evil Dead Burn, a movie I have not seen yet, but I'm very excited to see with my ranking of the film so far in the Evil Dead franchise. And it's going through like each one, why I like it, why I rank them, where I rank them. And like I always say, I don't like over complicating things. So let's make it simple. Let's keep it simple, and let's talk about it. Coming in last place, um, Evil Dead 2. Now, this is something that I I rank it here because for the longest time, and even now, I'm not a big fan of comedies. Not even just in horror, just very like everything I do has some type of horror in it. Whether my favorite superheroes, whether it's my favorite um movies, shows, almost everything I do has some element of horror in there, or monsters or aliens or something, along those lines. So, I but just in a most generalized sense, not big fan of comedies. There's certain ones I like, a certain actors like Adam Sandler. I enjoy his, at least his earlier movies. Um, but for the most part, I'm just not a fan of comedies on just a wider scale, and that includes horror comedies. And Evil Dead 2 took the franchise in a much more comedic slapstick way. And while it's good, I can recognize that it's well made and that it's good, and the ideas and everything they have in this film work. But I just I don't vibe with the comedy in it, and because of that, um, I have to put it at the bottom. While still recognizing it's a good movie, while still recognizing I understand and see why so many people love it. Right? It's like Southern American food. I just don't like it. The just chicken fried steak, um, yams, uh, just southern food in general. I'm just not a fan of. You know, um, I really don't like it. I don't, and that's not saying that it's bad or it's gross. It's just not for me, and that's Evil Dead 2. It's just not for me. I can recognize it's good. I can appreciate it, but at the same time, understand it. Just it, I'm not who's going to be the core audience of this movie. I'm not a big fan of it, so that's why it's at my bottom. Next one, it shouldn't be much of a surprise. Army of Darkness. Um, for many of the same reasons. Now the reason why this one is ahead of Evil Dead 2 is pro- outside of horror. Right, I don't like comedies. I'm not a big fan. I don't like action movies. I just don't. Probably my two favorite types of films outside of horror would be, I love superhero movies. Superhero movies are probably the one exception to the action. Um, but like that's it. Um, and only because it's a big comic book fan. But I'm not a fan of comedies. I'm a fan of action for the most part. But I love crime noir films and dark fantasy. And this is a dark fantasy film at its core. Um, Set in medieval times, has all the tropes and the um, aesthetics of a dark fantasy film. So for that element of it, it works for me way more than Evil Dead 2 because it's more of a dark fantasy type film than it is really a straight up. It's still horror, but it's eclectic. There's many other ingredients that substantially make up this film. Horror is not the main ingredient. It's one of them, but it's not the main ingredient. So, but I still find this enjoyable for that reason alone. Um, but I mean, just also I find it more quotable. It's more quotable. There's more lines in there. I can just sit here and think about and quote, and a lot of other things that I think work in this film more so than they do in Evil Dead 2. Also, just um, the the aesthetic of it, I think, to me is um, more my preference, you know. But yeah, Army of Darkness. Next one, Evil Dead Rise. Um, so this one, I liked it more than most. I was naive and ignorant enough to think this was a favorite. And I hear so much backlash about this movie. Fans not liking it, hating it, saying it's the worst in the franchise. And I was kind of like, you know, this ignorant, naive guy in a bubble who was like, you guys don't like this movie? Now, I do have some issues with it, and I won't sit here and act as if the movie is flawless. I mean, obviously it's not. It's not number one or even two for me. But I think it does work. I think it does some things that are amazing, and I think there are things in it that, for me at least, are enjoyable. It's very dark, but it does bring back that um, over the top nature. And I think with Evil Dead 2013, that one was way more just sword and um I don't want to say nihilistic. That's not the right word, but it wasn't. It didn't have that over the top nature. Where this one brings some of that back. Another thing I love about this movie, and maybe this is why people don't like it, but it took us away from the cabin in the woods. Army of Darkness too, but that was more fantastical element. This took us away from it and put us in a whole nother setting in the real world. I like that too. So Evil Dead Rise, again, I enjoyed it more than most. Obviously, I guess I'm I'm the weird one in that case. Next, the original Evil Dead. I saw this movie when I was very young. Probably younger than I should have been, honestly, but I must be in awe of it. I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? And the Deadites being just terrifying to me, and everything being so secluded and feeling so isolated. I remember that I just thought it was the scariest thing ever. And beyond that, as I got older, I learned more about how it was made and the guerrilla style in which Sam Raimi directed this, and the obstacles he had to overcome, and how he made us just this dumb little dream a reality. I think was amazing. But it was this dumb kid with this dumb dream, and it was like he had no business making this film as good as it is. And all the techniques now we look at and say, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe he thought about that. And Sam Raimi saying, I just did that shit because I had no money. That was me just trying to make do. And yet now it's so extraordinary and so influential within filmmaking. It was like, I was just trying to make a film. I didn't have a choice but to, shoot things at certain angles or use certain devices for, camera movement. And we look at it now like it's so visionary. It was just some guy who had no money and had to make do. And it is brilliant. It's a magnificent film. And anyone who's an aspiring filmmaker should look at Sam Raimi, whether you're in horror or not, doesn't matter. His audacity and his cleverness is to be admired. But number one, Evil Dead 2013. I remember when this first came out, and I said, fuck this, fuck that movie. Fuck that movie. You're telling me you're gonna remake and by this point you understand. If you're my age, you understand this. If you're younger than me, you have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. But sit back, listen, I'm explaining to you. 2000, and you guys remember 2003, 2004, right? Guys, if I'm wrong, correct me. Texas Chainsaw Massacre and George Romero's Dawn of the Dead get their respective remakes. They do stupid numbers, like numbers that don't even make sense. Everyone does remakes. Now, every movie from the 80s, some movies from the early 90s get a remake. Everyone. Black Christmas, Sorority Row, Prom Night, not horror, but like horror adjacent, Total Recall. Jeez. The Wicker Man. Just the list goes on and on. Anyway, and for a horror fan, people talk shit about the 90s. Oh, 90s was a bad year for horror. No, it wasn't. There's some amazing movies during the 90s. Great movies during the 90s. To 2000, to 2000s. So from the year 2000 to about 2009, roughly, I would say that was our dark ages. That was the time when everything was being remade. Even beloved classics, masterpieces like The Wicker Man. That movie is perfect. Like literally perfection. That movie is so great. It is so good that I'm trying to think. When I first saw it, Wicker Man, I remember just being like, I almost hated it because I'm like, a movie shouldn't be this perfect. Like there should be some flaws in it, but there aren't. And so we had remake after remake. It didn't matter if it was a masterpiece. It didn't matter if it was like Prom Night. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I love that woman to death. That movie really wasn't very good. The original Prom Night. So remaking a movie like that, I can understand. House and Sorority Row, again, I like it more than Prom Night, but it's not the perfect slasher. I'm not gonna sit here and say that movie's untouchable. But then they were remaking all these classic and masterpieces. Like, why are you remaking that when there's so many other movies that can be remade that were okay, but maybe weren't as good as other films. And we have remake after remake after remake. It got so exhausting. We saw all of our classic movies getting remakes, and I'm just sitting here like, the fuck is going on? And so when this movie came out, when the Evil Dead remake, now the Evil Dead universe film, because now they redacted that and said, well, it's no longer a remake. Now Mia and Ash coexist in the same universe, which I think is amazing. I think that's fucking awesome. But anyway, so when this movie came out, I was tired with it. I was fed up. I was fuck remakes and fuck this Evil Dead remake. So I didn't watch it for many years. But everywhere I went, every horror fan I saw online or talked to said, that movie's great. You gotta watch it. And the ones that were my age said, dude, I understand. Like they're remaking everything. It's exhausting. But this one's a little bit different. So, okay. Let me check it out. Let's see. I bought this film. Even then, I didn't watch it for like a year. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Finally, I watched it. And I can say, and now mind you, my expectations from the word of mouth were already kind of high. Everyone blew this movie. Everyone said the movie was great. And even with that, when I watched it, it still didn't live up to. It still, what they said still didn't do the film justice. This movie's great. Everything about it is great. The fact that they made Mia a an addict in recovery. So when she starts wigging out, it's like normally you'll be like, guys, there's something obviously fucking wrong with Mia. Fucking do something. Are you fucking stupid? But now like, yeah, of course Mia's wigging out. She's going through withdrawal. That's to be expected. So it made so much sense. It gave so much authenticity to their, I don't want to say nonchalantness, but their not giving it really any type of credibility, that they were kind of like, she's okay. She's going through withdrawals, but give it a little bit of time, it'll pass. And it made so much sense. It was so intelligent. It was so smart. It was so well done. And I fucking love this movie. I love everything about it. I love the um, reason why they're there, or the reason why they don't start freaking out at first when Mia starts acting weird. And I love the ending with the blood rain. And listen, Sam Raimi set this franchise in motion. He created it. He deserves all his flowers. He deserves to be accredited with creating this, and really Evil Dead. I haven't seen Burns yet, obviously, but so far every movie in this franchise is good. Like I said, I have my preferences. That's why I don't necessarily love Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness, but those are my preferences. I can still say, hey, my preferences, I'm not a big comedy guy, but I can still look at a film that's well made and say, hey, that's a well made movie, that's done well, and acknowledge how good it is, if that makes any sense. But that's my ranking. I can't wait to see Burns to see where that one ranks. Um, everything I've seen so far has really been split. For those who know, horror websites, so Arrow in the Head gave it a great review. Bloody Disgusting did not. Dread Central gave it a really good review, if I remember correctly. Um, I think Fangoria gave it a. I haven't read the review. I think the review though was. I heard that it was, um, kind of down the middle, not good, not bad. Just so yeah, Bloody Disgusting was a bad one. Arrow in the Head, Dread Central was a good one, and Fangoria kind of like with a, average. Saying it's an average movie. So there's no clear consensus, with this film. So curious how that will, how much I'll like it. But people who like it seem to really love it, and the people who um, are disliking it really seem to dislike it quite a bit. So it's a it'll be interesting to finally see it and see what like what my opinion of it is. But I'm excited no matter what. It's Evil Dead. But that's my ranking. There's a Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead Rise, the OG, and a 2013 film, remake, sequel, whatever you want to refer to it as. I refer to it as a masterpiece. It's a classic. It's a horror classic. It's such a great film. So smart, so intelligent. The everything about that film is just top tier. Um, so um, especially coming from where I came from in my era, remakes, like I said, were just there was too many of them, and they remade films that had no business being remade. Halloween. I know there are a lot of Rob Zombie fans out there. I'm one of them, but they shouldn't have remade it. They should have made, something different or something adjacent to that. But to try to remake it, I mean, Halloween's a masterpiece. The Wicker Man's a masterpiece. There's certain films that you just shouldn't touch, man. Nightmare on Elm Street's a masterpiece, and that remake was a disaster. Jesus. Uh, that's the other thing. These studios were just pumping them out, and there was no respect or love put into them. It was like, okay, just pump out this remake. Let's get it out. Let's get it made. Let's get it in the theater so we can make money off of it. But and that's the other thing I love about this movie. You can tell there was love put into this. You can tell they cared about the franchise. They cared about the material. They cared about Sam Raimi and Evil Dead and the um, legacy he has. So the love and the admiration that they have for um, Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell and the legacy of Evil Dead was so apparent, and it was so um, even the beginning, even that listen when the girl tied up and her dad and all the other guys are there, and she's like, please daddy, and then she says so innocently, I'll eat your soul, daddy. And at first you're like, because she was saying, oh, please daddy over and over again, and she says so innocently, this innocent voice, I'll eat your soul, daddy. And you're like, wait, what is she? And she goes full deadite. I'll eat your soul, daddy. And you go, oh, fuck. She's a deadite. Oh, shit. But damn, I mean, talk about this a masterpiece. Man, Yeah, that movie's good. And the respect they have for it was so evident. I wish every remake had the amount of respect that this movie had. Maybe we got some more quality, remakes, but as it is, nonetheless, I'm obviously I love it. It's my number one in the franchise. It's just so damn good, and I can't help but just gush over it. It's just a movie I absolutely adore because it was a movie that I wanted no parts of. I was fed up with the remakes. I was fed up with everything being remade. I was fed up with studios pumping out these generic, half-ass remakes that had no love or passion put into them. And to see one done right, yeah, that was good. That was real good. So, that's my list for the Evil Dead films and how much I like them. So, a little bit of a I mean, I guess I kind of always go on a little bit of a side quest, but you know what? Way I see it, it's my authentic thoughts, and sometimes you gotta go, on a little, you gotta go on the back roads. Take a little bit longer to get there to enjoy and to appreciate everything, or maybe not. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I don't know if everyone else is Evil Dead. I know that there will be people who have Evil Dead 2 way up there. Maybe number one. Maybe number one. People love Evil Dead 2. And I know there are gonna be people who have Evil Dead Rises probably at last. Like I said, I was such a sweet summer child because I thought that was a universally loved film until I started hearing people speak about it, and I'm like, oh wow, you guys really didn't like it. So but hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion. We all have things and um, have our own preferences. So it's like I said, I'm always open to hear someone else's constructively, um, criticism on what their preferences or against what my preferences are, and I'm always open to having my mind change. Always, art's fluid. what what's your favorite now, or have you rank a certain amount of films or a certain franchise of films or whatever can always change. So I'm always I'm never, I try not to be anyway, so stubborn that, well, this is my ranking and it's going to stay like that forever. Who knows? Maybe Burns will be my number one. Maybe it might be my least favorite of the entire franchise. Who knows? But I can't wait to see it. Till then, guys, be safe.